Hello and welcome. Hope you are doing well. I'm Ric Bender and it's Tuesday, November 19th. Well, we're getting more reports concerning President Joe Biden and his administration's decision with Ukraine. Today, I want to bring you a story of Sweden and its communication with its citizens. And on the economic front, how are small business faring in this economy? And we'll begin with layoffs. So thank you for joining me. If you're here for the very first time, welcome to the channel. Unfortunately, we have more and more headlines of more and more layoffs. The first comes from our friends at Macro Edge concerning the Associated Press. Now, what I'd like to know is, do you consider the Associated Press legacy media? I definitely do. And what's interesting, a new report just came out that 1 in 5 Americans are receiving their news from social media and or alternative influencers. So more than likely, Associated Press and its layoffs are because of these trends. We've had it with legacy media. So again, from our friends at Macro Edge, Associated Press told staff it plans to reduce its staff count by 8% through both layoffs and voluntary buyouts. And the big story when it comes to layoffs, it has been the big story and will continue to be the big story, is Boeing. This is from Reuters. Boeing to lay off over 2,200 workers in the U.S. states of Washington and Oregon. So here's the Reuters report. According to filings posted on Monday, as part of the debt-heavy U.S. plane makers' plan to cut 17,000 jobs, or 10% of its global workforce, it will be laying off over 2,200 workers in the states of Washington and Oregon. 17,000 jobs. That is a lot of people losing their jobs. And our final layoff. Arctic Cat, recreational vehicle manufacturer, announces layoffs and furloughs at their River Falls facility. What a shame. You think moving into winter they might be able to, make it, but apparently they need to cut staff and reduce expenditures. And when it comes to expenditures, the government isn't very good at accounting for expenditures. I have some stories here that are just outlandish. It's absolutely ludicrous what the government gets away with. They're incredibly lackadaisical when it comes to accounting for our tax dollars. I mean, the way they spend it. They're diligent in collecting it, but they're lackadaisical when it comes to accounting for how they spend it. Listen to this. The White House is unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. That's a lot of money. Again, lackadaisical, stupid. What is it? They just don't care, or they just don't want to tell us. This is why we need efficiency. This is why we need this whole thing cleaned up. Listen to this. California. They're unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. $24 billion. Where did it go? We spoke about the Pentagon yesterday. And listen to this. U.S. Treasury is unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. This is beyond lackadaisical. I think this is criminal. Because when you think of it in terms of what we're being told to do by the IRS, do you remember what that is? Well, in 2025, the IRS is telling us that we need to pay attention, that we need to know if we've sent someone over $600 that we better report it. And if we receive more than $600, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, whatever the case may be, these third parties, we better report it. This is ridiculous. How about cleaning up these government agencies that are awfully lackadaisical about our hardworking tax dollars. Now, when President Trump and the election took place, there was this amazing Trump rally, and we watched gold and silver take a hit to about 5%. But things have turned already. Gold is climbing. Gold prices are surging back above $2,600 an ounce, even as Treasury yields are rising and the US dollar hit multi-month highs. It's very interesting. Of course, there's a great deal of geopolitical issues, a great deal of volatility in the world as well. Today, Goldman Sachs said they see gold prices hitting a record of $3,000 an ounce in 2025. Gold and metals are back in business, back on the run. Small business. How are small business faring when it comes to the economy? Well, if you're a small business owner, you already know that answer. But if you're not, listen to this. 20% of U.S. small business have seen sales drop over the last 3 months, the most since 2020 pandemic. Now, they've been dropping longer than that, but they've dropped the most in those 3 months since 2020 pandemic. Inflation continues to take a hit on the consumer. And if small business sells to a consumer or a customer that doesn't have the money, you know what's going to happen. This is a worse reading than during the 2001 and 1991 recessions, according to the NFIB data. This is also the 29th consecutive month of declining sales, the longest streak since the 2008 financial crisis. At the same time, the Small Business Uncertainty Index spiked to 110 points. That's the highest level on record. Small businesses citing inflation and the labor market as their biggest issues. Here's the bottom line. U.S. small business are in a recession. If you've been paying attention to this broadcast, you realize over time that we've clearly stated certain categories in a recession. And I just want to make that point clear because often people will state in a comment that, I'm just missing the recession. Here's another area where we're clearly in a recession. If you're a small business owner, you know how difficult it is. In fact, many of you share on this channel and within its comments. You're working your tail off to keep your business afloat and or even profitable. Small business is really struggling. And there's a lot of fraud. This story from CNBC was published November 18th. Number of older adults who lost $100,000 or more to fraud has tripled since 2020, the FTC says. Just want to share the key points. The number of Americans aged 60 and older. Now, the lion's share of this audience age group is 65 plus. So this is relevant. If you're in your 55 plus, pay attention to this. The number of Americans aged 60 and older who lose $100,000 or more to fraud each year has more than tripled since 2020, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Older adults most commonly lose such large sums of money to investment scams, like those involving cryptocurrency, as well as romance and imposter scams. There are 3 big red flags for consumers to know: social isolation, a sense of urgency, and an unusual payment method. So be wise. I know most of you are very, very wise. Maybe you want to share this with a friend. It's so easy. In fact, I've read of many, many people, and as you know, we believe in sound money strategies. We have sponsorships with gold providers. There are many people being scammed when it comes to cryptocurrency and gold. Make sure you're purchasing your gold from respectable precious metal dealers. Make sure if you're purchasing cryptocurrency, you're actually on a valid platform. Be careful. The scams are increasing. And our last story for the day, it is a big one. Now, this is a big story and it's growing. And yesterday I shared it with you. I didn't know a lot about it. The story continues to form. This is about President Joe Biden and his administration's decision with Ukraine and U.S. missiles. Putin made his position clear. And now President Trump, or President-elect Donald Trump, is asking the parties to cease, to cool down. But here's what Sweden is telling its citizens. Sweden urges citizens to prepare for war. 5 million households receive guides on stockpiling essentials amid escalating global tensions. Quote, Biden is accused of trying to start World War III, unquote. Sweden is distributing around 5 million pamphlets to its residents, advising them to prepare for the possibility of war. The pamphlets provide guidance on stockpiling essentials such as food and water, reflecting increasing concerns over potential conflict with Russia. Meanwhile, Finland has introduced a new national preparedness website, and Norway recently distributed booklets instructing citizens on how to sustain themselves independently for a week in the event of war or other crisis. Both Sweden and Finland abandoned decades of military neutrality to join NATO following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. This is a major, major disaster. And as you can see, nations are taking this very, very seriously. Hey, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you spending time with me. If you like what we're doing and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.